Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to start with a question before I go on. How many of you here believe that talent is a gift that you're born with? How many of you believe that talent is something that is developed instead of something that you are born with? Some people are born with extraordinary ability, but oftentimes talent is something that can be developed and honed to a point that it becomes extraordinary. My name is Jess Española, and I'm a Filipino animator based in the United States. I am here to tell you about how my experiences and struggles helped me give the values necessary to be the artist I am today. I started with holding a pencil with my left hand at the age of 5, when I still didn't even know how to write my name. I started drawing what I see from my environment: a person, a house, a sky with clouds, and even a small canal on the side of the house. When my mother saw me using my left hand in holding a pencil, she forbade me with the religious belief that everything left is bad. I started to use my right hand with a struggle, but I learned it anyway. And from then on, I have been using my right hand in drawing and writing. But I'm still left-handed in almost everything that I do. When I was in first and second grade in school, all the contents of my notebooks are drawings of Batman and Robin. That was my favorite show at that time. I almost got failing grades, 76, 75 out of 100. 74 is failing. I grew up with my single mother. When I was 9 years old, my mother got married to a Kapampangan, and from Caloocan, we moved to Pampanga. I stopped my schooling for 2 years because of the complicated situation in their marriage. I experienced hunger there, where ironically, it's a farmland, a place for food production. The main crops are rice and sugarcane. I experienced working in a farm, the most tiring job I've ever done, with so little benefit I got from it. I still continued with what I love, drawing. I went to school without breakfast and without lunch. All I had to do is drink water from the artesian well to feel something in my stomach. Going home after school, I used to go to the river and collect snails. They call suso or kohol, and boil it with called tanglad, or lemongrass with salt. And then I borrow a ganta of rice from the neighbor for supper. That is what I clearly still remember, how I got by from the lack of everything. My teachers and all others discovered that I can draw well, and since they knew I was a hungry student, they started to ask me to draw for them. For their bulletin boards display for each subject they teach and pay me. I became the school artist, and the money I earned from it served me to buy food to stay out of hunger. Some of them even went to offer me adoption to give me a better future when they saw my potential. This is how I was initiated by fate early in life. No formal training in arts, but by these circumstances, by the necessities of life. Finally, I finished my primary school as a valedictorian with no hope of getting an education in high school in the said province. It all started in a dream of getting educated. It was Christmas Day in 1974, right after my birthday. I went to Manila with just a bag of clothes and a few fare for the bus. I went to my godmother in Caloocan and served them as an errand boy, hoping that she might mention about my high school education. It was when my aunt, who also lived in the same city, learned my whereabouts. She took me to stay with her temporarily. Eventually, she brought me to my grandmother in Sampaloc, Manila. My grandmother, as a laundry woman, also had lived in poverty. So I had to work as a dishwasher in one of the eateries in Avenida Rizal before I got enrolled in high school. It was my first year high school when I had an old practical arts teacher who graduated from UP College of Fine Arts. He had a portrait studio in Quiapo in the 1940s, but was forced to close it during the war. Seeing my talent, he gave me an extra time to train me in charcoal portrait. The same elementary school. In elementary school, I experienced hunger in high school, going to class without breakfast. When my teachers and classmates learned my situation, they asked me to draw for them, usually charcoal portraits, and paid me. All any other expense in school, I got them for free with the help of my teachers. Come graduation in 1979, I wanted to have a college degree with no money and no place to stay. I didn't know how I can make it, but with a strong desire for something positive to happen, I talked to the people who can help. My journalism teacher, Elma Backing, invited me to have a dinner at their house. She told me, "I'm impressed with you. Even if you would be thrown away in the middle of the sea, you can live and you can survive. You are different from among many of my students." She referred me to her nephew, Oscar Pineda, who's also a senior student at UP College of Fine Arts. He gave me a tip on how to pass the talent test. I made it, but I was not able to enroll in the month of June. During that summer, I had an entry-level job in printing press company. I was thinking, if I had to leave my job, if I enroll full-time in college, I won't make it if I don't have an income. Around this time, I was looking for my biological father's family. I heard they lived in Santa Mesa, and 11 years passed. The father never lived with them anymore. Renato is one of the 5 siblings on my father's side of the family. He is the nearest to my age. I went to meet him in Santa Mesa Church to introduce myself. He was surprised to know me. He immediately brought me to the family. Their mother knew of my existence, but never told them about me. I told her my situation and my desire to go to college. She immediately called Karina David, the then chairwoman of UP ISWCD. She's the wife of Brandy David. Karina's father is Renato Constantino, was the mother's previous employer. Right after the conversation, I went to meet Karina. It was already July 1 when I got enrolled with her help. She paid my enrollment fee, gave me a temporary job on her project, and paid her installment with my salary. On the second semester, as a freshman, I became a college scholar, but I still had to maintain my status as a working student. I still experienced hunger when I was out of job. I had to tell my classmates, "Please double your lunch meal and give half to me." I had to tell some of my teachers I'm hungry for them to feed me and recommend me for any job available they know. I chose to major in painting and studio arts because I have a big dream of becoming a national artist. See, I always dreaming. On August 21, 1983, do you remember that date? I was still a student when I passed the interview at Central Bank Mint and Gold Refinery as a designer of currency and other government projects that is related to it. The offer was good. Once I get in, I will be sent to Italy to be trained when the country is best known for coin minting in the world. A monthly supply of sack of rice and a low-cost housing. I left college in 1994. In 1995, I was hired to work at Burbank Animation, an Australian-based studio in Makati producing animated shows for European viewership. During this time, Central Bank called me to report for work, but I've chosen to stay in Burbank. I thought animation is more challenging new skill in the country when there were no schools established yet. I started working as cleanup in-betweener and sooner became an animator. In 1986, Hanna-Barbera from Los Angeles entered the country and hired OptiFX studio also in Makati and worked on a few shows like Johnny Quest. In 1988, Hanna-Barbera established its own subsidiary, Fil Cartoons, incorporated in Pasig. It was considered one of the biggest in Asia. I moved to this new studio and worked as an animator for all Hanna-Barbera shows. And these are the lists that I worked on. Thank you. I cannot show my drawings because I didn't collect any. In 1991, in some sort of a reward from my good performance, I was sent to the mother studio for an orientation tour and stayed there for less than 3 months. I went back to the Philippines looking forward to growing old, working as an animator here in my own home country. I love the Philippines. In 1994, the mother studio was not sending any more work to Fil Cartoons, and then it started to slow down in production. It coincided with the coming of the American studio manager looking for talents to work for him in Van Nuys for CD-ROM games, education, and entertainment for children. I accepted the offer, worked for a short period of time, and then I moved to 7th Level Studio in Glendale for another CD-ROM production in 1995-1997. Though the studio was producing its own original ideas, some of the Disney games, like Timon and Pumbaa and Hunchback of Notre Dame, were done here. I moved to Film Roman in 1997 to work on King of the Hill show, one of the 20th Century Fox primetime shows, including The Simpsons. I applied for the position of layout artist, and then sooner I became an assistant director. After a season, I moved to work as assistant director to Rough Draft Studios for Futurama, another Fox primetime show created by Matt Groening after The Simpsons. I worked on this show from 1998 until it was stopped in 2002. I went back to Film Roman as a layout artist for The Simpsons in 2003. I eventually became assistant director again. I stayed there working for The Simpsons for years until now. The biggest challenge of working in the animation industry is an artist's ability to draw well. He must be good in drawing. His adaptability to different styles is necessary. And also, versatility is necessary to be able for you to stay in the animation industry. The most rewarding part of this is the good income and the chance to get an award. In 2002, the Futurama episode Roswell That Ends Well won an Emmy when I worked as assistant director to the supervising director. But at that time, my position has not yet been included in the nomination. In the following years, the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences added my position in the nominees. And in 2008, The Simpsons, Eternal Moonshine of the Simpson Mind, won an Emmy. I got a trophy. Thank you. So the question of how the young artists and animation enthusiasts to better their craft. This is based on my experience. Keep on practicing. The earlier you practice, the better. Hone your skills in every opportunity you can have. Keep on learning with the new trends. We have the internet now. You can easily update your knowledge and information by accessing the online database. Computer technology is now everywhere, and it keeps on advancing almost every year. An artist shouldn't be left behind in learning this medium. Perseverance, it's important. By not giving up easily in times of hardship. I experienced that. Focus your time and effort to one thing, that is to be good at what you do. Challenge yourself by working hard on a difficult task because it is the way for you to become better, to become a great artist. Don't forget to dream. I live with a dream. And to have an inspiration. These are the keys to creative productivity. Believe in yourself, it's important. Look inside you. Human consciousness is in the realm of limitless possibilities. It is in this realm that creativity, imagination, and positive thinking work. It goes with the saying that energy follows thought. Everything we desire, we project it in our mind. That produces the quality of vibration that affects our lives. In most cases, we become creative and imaginative when we experience hardship, when we struggle to achieve something. On the national level, maybe a government support is the first key to developing the local animation industry. Organize and support the local studios here. Do not compete with each other. Unite to be strong so that it becomes progressive and aggressive, especially when we are presenting a business to other countries or to offer outsourcing services. Update your skills and knowledge with the advancing technology that the leading animation studios in the world use. Create your own original ideas. It's important. And tell your own story to promote Filipino culture. But if you can find the culture, create your own culture that can be identified as Filipino. Join the International Animation Festival. International exposure is the best way to level up and be able to match the global standard. Watch and learn from award-winning shows in the world. Invite those who have established themselves in their fields of arts, like, for example, the producers, the directors, to impart their experience and knowledge to you. Thank you for listening.